Okay, going through our questions now. So this is just a little bit of a walkthrough how we approach questions. So we do one step at a time. In order to find out which step to do first, we use the reverse of BODMAS, or SAMDOB if you like, and then we undo using the opposite operation. And then we need to also make sure that our solution is written as our letter equals our number. So something like this, x equals 3, we would not write 3 equals x, we would need to flip it into x equals 3. Now on to our questions. So just keep in mind for this particular one, question 8 will be done in a separate video. A link will be provided as well for that one. So first one, copy and complete the following to solve the given equations systematically. So I've gone ahead and actually highlighted my pronumeral, and we are going to have a look at what we have to do with this one. So first thing I can see is I have an addition, and I also have a multiplication. So addition is before multiplication when I'm going this way, so I start by getting rid of my addition. So let's do that. So I do the reverse operation of plus 3, which means I am minusing 3 on both sides. Once I do that, I do indeed get down to 7a equals 35. 38 minus 3 is 35, and 7a plus 3 minus 3 is 7a. Next thing, I now have in front of the a, in front of my pronumeral, I have a 7. This 7 means multiply. So I've got 7 multiplied by a. So to undo a multiplication, we need to now divide. And what we do to one side, we absolutely do to the other. So then I am just left over with my a equaling, so 35 divided by 7 gives me 5. So there's my answer for that one. And again, we're using that systematic system. Keep it nice and tight. Okay, first thing I see in this next one, I have some brackets. Brackets are the last thing that I do. I've also got multiplication, so I'm going to actually start with that one. Let's highlight our pronumeral just so we can keep track of it. And the next thing that I have is I am now going to deal with, as you have here, I'm now going to deal with this multiplication. And the way that I've done that is I've actually divided by 2, and I divide by 2 on both sides. When I do that, I actually get rid of the brackets, which is quite nice. So now looking at this statement here, and again, so we've got that one, those two cancel out, I end up with q plus 6. Then I have to answer this part, so 20 divided by 2 gives me my answer of 10. Next one I have, again, let's have a look just at this statement. I have an addition here, so let's get rid of that next. So to undo addition, I subtract, so minus 6, and I end up just with q. And I do 10 minus 6 on one side, which means I have to do 10 minus 6 on the other side to give me my answer of 4. Isn't that lovely? Next question, question number 7. So for these equations, state the first operation you would apply to both sides to solve it. So we're going to eyeball this type of question, and we're going to go through what operation there is. So first of all, let's highlight that pronumeral. And then let's see what we get rid of first. So I'm using my lovely BODMAS down here. In this equation here, I have an addition and I also have multiplication. Addition, when I'm solving, will go first. So the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of that addition, or I'm going to undo it. So if I'm going to undo it, what I'm doing is I am minusing 3 on both sides. And again, I don't have to answer the question. I just have to tell you what operation I've done. So I'd minus 3 from both sides. Nice. Next one. We have, again, similar type of question. I have, again, my pronumeral. I'm going to highlight that one. And what I can see here is I have multiplication, I have some brackets, and I have an addition. But treat everything inside the brackets as brackets. So if I'm looking at this, I have 5, which is a multiplication, and I have some brackets. So if I have brackets and multiplication, I'm going to start with my multiplication and undo that first. So let's do exactly that. So I'm going to now divide this whole side by 5, and what I do to one side, I do the other. You can write it like that, or you could also write it like this. Both means exactly the same thing. So again, the operation that I've done is I've divided by 5 to both sides. Next question. Again, we're going to leave 8 till the absolute end. Be nice if it worked. Okay, let's go through question 9. So if I am doing question number 9, I am solving the equations and I'm giving my solution as a fraction. Keep that one in mind. So first one, I'm going to highlight my pronumeral as I've done before, and I'm going to look what else is around it. So I have an addition. And I also have a multiplication. So my multiplication, so I have an addition and I have a multiplication. I'm going to deal with my addition first. That's going to be my first step. So let's absolutely do that first. So I'm going to minus 5 because that's opposite operation. And then let's write out our next line. So we still have 4x. And again, these two will cross each other out. And then 8 minus 5 gives us 3. Now, again, highlight our pronumerals so we can see what we're doing. So 4x equals 3. This is a multiplication, which means we need to divide, and we divide by 4 on both sides. So let's absolutely do that right by now. And I end up with x equals 3 over 4. And again, remember the question said to have it as a fraction. There's my answer. Next one. I have 22 equals in 3w plus 7 in brackets multiplied by 2. First thing I can think about is I need to actually flip this. So if I need to flip this, what I need to do is I need to rewrite this equation and swap each side. So I'm going to do that first and foremost. So I have my brackets, 3w plus 7 multiplied by 2 gives me 22. Now I can go through my normal process. Let's have a look. On my left-hand side here, I have a multiplication. So I have a multiplication, and I also have brackets. So the first thing I'm going to do is that multiplication. So to undo multiplication, I divide. So I'm going to divide by 2. What I do to one side, I absolutely do to the other. And again, what this does is just leaves me my statement there. So 3w plus 7 gives me, so 22 divided by 2 gives me 11. Now having a look at this statement, let's see what we have left. So for this one, we have 3w, so this is a multiplication, and plus 7 we have is an addition, going back up to here before. So we have an addition and we have a multiplication. So we're going to start getting rid of our addition first. So let's do that. If I have plus 7, I'm going to have to minus 7. And what I do to one side, I absolutely do to the other side. So I end up with 3w equals, so 11 minus 7 gives me 4. And I need to keep going because I have a multiplication here. So 3 times 4. So to undo multiplication, I need to divide. So I divide both sides by that number, which is 3. And I can write my final statement, which is w, let's put some therefore, w equals 4 over 3. Again, remembering that those two numbers cancel out. So when they cancel out, I end up with w equals 4 on 3. Last couple of questions. Let's have a look. Question 11. So these ones, we've done some similar. So first of all, you're going to write an equation and then you're going to be solving it. So first thing we need to do is write an equation and then we are going to solve it. So first thing I've got here, let's write down our pronumeral and then figure out what else is around it. So when b is doubled, that means that I've multiplied it by 2. And then 6 is added. So, and then 6 is added. The result is 44. So that part that says result actually means equals. So the result is 44. So that was part 1. Now, let's actually solve this. So again, exact same process as we had above. Let's have a look what we have. We have a multiplication and we have an addition. So addition comes before multiplication. So we undo our addition first. So let's do that. So opposite of addition is minusing it. So let's continue on with that. What I do to one side, I do to the other. So I end up with 2b gives me, so 44 minus 6 gives me 38. Okay, now I look at this here, and I've actually got multiplication. So to undo multiplication, I need to divide. So that's exactly what I'm going to do now. So 2b divided by 2 equals 38 divided by 2. So again, remember, same number cancels out, and I just end up with this. So you're going to have to solve this part, which is 38 divided by 2. So I end up with b equals, so 38 divided by 2 is 15 plus 4, so 19. Done. Next one, 7 is, let's again start with our pronumeral, k. I now have 7 is subtracted from k. So if it's from k, I start with k, and I subtract 7 from it. The result is tripled. If I say the result is tripled, that means that I am actually multiplying it by 3. Again, this matches up with this, and it says giving 18. So that means my answer is 18. Now, let's have a look at how to undo this and solve it. So again, what do we have here? I have multiplication and I have brackets, so I deal with the multiplication first. So I'm going to divide by 3 to both sides, and let's continue. So I end up with k minus 7 equals, so 18 divided by 3, because remember these two cross out, so I just end up with that, and 18 divided by 3 gives me 6. So if I continue on with this, I have a subtraction, which means I have the opposite operation, which means I am adding, so plus 7 to each side, and I end up with my k by itself, and 6 plus 7 gives me 13. Beautiful. Last one, and then remember, watch the additional video for question number 8. And remember, that will be for A and B questions. So Danny gets paid $12 per hour. Really important. So $12 per hour, not so bad. He gets a bonus of $50 for each week. And we have been told in 1 week he earned this much. So that's going to be our total. So let's write down our total, which was 410. So if he's getting paid $12 per hour and getting an additional bonus, so I'm adding 50, let's now write an equation to describe this, and we're using n for the number of hours. So $12 per hour means $12 per hour, so n is the number of hours. So let's write that one in. So I have 12n plus 50 gives me 410. Now I use this equation to tell you how many the number of hours that he has actually worked. So let's go through with that one. So let's write out our equation first and then go through our same process. So 12n plus 50 gives me 410. And again, let's have a look. I have multiplication here, but I have addition, so I do that first. And again, to undo it, use the opposite operation, so minus 50 on both sides. So if I do 410 minus 50, let's make my life a bit easier. So I end up with 12n. So 410 minus 50 gives me 360. And to get my n by itself, the number of hours, I need to undo the multiplication, which means I need to divide by 12 to both sides. So 12n divided by 12 gives me my answer of n, again because they cancel each other out, leaving n, and 360 divided by 12 is 60. That's correct. Okay, so have I answered the question? No, I have not. So, therefore, the number of hours is 60. And again, we can always double check that on the calculator. So I'm just going to double check that now. So 360 divided by 12 does indeed, ooh, bad maths teacher. Apologies, gents. So gives me 30. I thought that sounded weird. Always check with a calculator. So the number of hours is 30, and that would be our final statement. Hop on to the next video to see about question number 8.